Mills. I am the parent liaison for Kimberly Elementary School, and this is our first principals chat and chew. I just want to give you the purpose of the chat and chew. It's mainly for parents to come in and engage with the principal and some of the staff members just to get to know what's going on in the school with their scholars. It's a great opportunity for you to ask questions and just get information. Today we'll be talking about the IB program. We'll be introduced to the care team. We'll talk about the parent portal, class dojo, and target interventions and enrichments, and upcoming events. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Dr. Bright, and this is today's agenda as our parent liaison shared. The mission and vision at Kimberly Elementary was aligned to match that of the International Baccalaureate, which states that it aims to develop knowledgeable and caring young people who help create a better and more peaceful world through intercultural understanding and respect. And the IB program encourages students across the world to become active, compassionate, and lifelong learners who understand that other people with their differences can also be right. Kimberly's mission is to provide a learning environment that fosters a growth mindset and develops student creativity through innovation within a global society. Our vision, all students will thrive in a choice-filled community that increases opportunities through hope, belief, success, and action. So where are we in this international baccalaureate journey? IB is the signature program of the Thorough Cluster. Thorough Cluster currently has 2 of 3 IB authorizations. They are authorized as an NYP, which promotes their 9th and 10th graders. They are authorized as CP, and they are currently a candidate school for a diploma program. Bunch Middle School, Bickett Elementary School, Continental Colony, and Deerwood Academy are all authorized IB schools. Kimberly is in phase 1, which is the candidate school phase, which we received that approval December 2021. Our authorization application is due to start its process in spring 2024. At Kimberly, we will be a primary years program. That means students between the ages of 3 and 12 will become active participants in their learning. And not just their learning academically, but how to be a whole child. So in that whole child, there is what they call the IB learner profile. And one of the handouts on your table actually lists the 10 IB learner profile attributes. These attributes, when learned effectively, can basically create a child who not only academically will succeed, but they will be able to be global and cultural citizens. They'll be able to go out and solve those problems through an inquiry mindset, through concept-based learning, and actually having compassion and caring. This month, our IB learner profile was caring for August. And so that was a time for our students to understand what it means to be a caring, compassionate child and citizen. Our SEL program actually aligns with our IB learner profile of the month that we actually highlight. So as the students go through the year, we'll read books and do different activities, and they'll actually have an opportunity to hear more about the IB learner profile, identify which IB learner profile they find is their strength, and which IB learner profile they need to work on, because with all of them, they can become that student. Next month, or today is September 1st, that IB learner profile is reflective, and reflective is really, really important, because we all know sometimes as humans, we just need an opportunity to be reflective about who we are and what we do. Sometimes our students may take a test and they may not make the grade they thought they were going to make. Let's be reflective. What are some things you can do differently? Same thing with their behavior. Sometimes we make choices. And even as adults, we know that when we sit back and we reflect, sometimes those things, we realize we could have had a different outcome had we done just a little tweaking to our behavior. So with this information here, you will see that when your child receives a report card at the end of the 9 weeks, they will have a score. All their behaviors. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. All the behaviors will be listed as an IB learner profile, and then how well your child is a legend. C is consistently, S sometimes, N not yet, and then NA might be not assessed. Especially if you have a younger child at home, some things we may not assess because some of the learner profiles are a little harder for them to understand. And so it takes time for them to actually understand how to show those attributes in their daily behavior. And so, are there any questions about IB learner profiles or our IB program? We will continue to have more discussion around it, and I hope you are available to come and learn more about it in the near future. And we will also be receiving this with the report card and other information as well. And now it's time for our care team.
Good morning, good morning. I'm Mrs. Cheryl Williams, and I am the care team leader. And accompanying me up here this morning are other members of the care team. Our basic responsibility is to make sure if there are any barriers to learning for our young scholars, that they're either minimized or removed totally. And how do we do that? With the services that we provide, whether it's therapy, counseling, social worker providing wraparound services, transportation, okay, that might be one, uniforms, okay, or communities in school, assistance with rent, and then of course our lovely parents liaison, which you all met already. And so I'm gonna let the team introduce themselves so that you can see their faces and hear their voices and connect. Anytime you're up here in the school, you're gonna see us in the building, and we hope that we get an opportunity to meet each and every one of you, particularly those of you who are watching right now. We're watching you too. Okay, we're gonna start to my right.
All right, I'm Crystal Reed. I'm the school counselor. I have been in APS, this is my 26th year in APS as an educator. I was a teacher for 10 years, a counselor for 9 years at Farrell High School, and I've been here 7 years at Kimberly, and this year I'm split between Kimberly and Continental Colony. My whole thing is I'm a loving school counselor. That's why I say, good morning, my loves. This is Mrs. Reed, your loving school counselor. And so every day, my job, and I tell the kids, is to make sure they're loved and safe every single day. So I work hard to make sure that if there's anything that they're going through in the classroom, that I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna talk to them and pull them and work with them to make sure. And if it's anything that I need to pass on or refer to my colleagues, I'll do that also. Because the thing is, we all have expertise, and we wanna make sure that we're collaboratively working to make the best for your babies every single day. And so I'm not here every single day, but they have my back on the days I'm not here, and also I'm just a phone call away if I need to come. All right, so thank you for coming, parents. Thank you for those listening and watching. We are here for you each and every day.
And again, I am Mrs. Williams, the clinical therapist here. Yes, licensed by the state of Georgia. Okay, so Kimberly does have their very own in-house therapists that work with kids from anything from depression to anxiety to self-harm behavior, whatever it might be that your child, even behavioral concerns that you might have, ADHD, conduct disorder, dysregulated mood disorders, whatever it might be. Sometimes our children need a little extra help, right? That individual one-on-one, maybe group settings with maybe 3 kids who might have the same problems where they can relate and support each other so that they can move forward and get back into those classrooms and learn what they need to learn. One of the other things also that I do, and I get to help your children with, or our children, should I say, that we share and love on, is what we call restorative practices. If they're having conflict with one of their peers, or even their teacher, okay, for that matter, we try to mend those bridges, right? So we're not cutting ties, we're not trying to move kids from one place, one room to the other. We're trying to mend those relationships and build relationships. And that's where you parents who are here today and those who are watching are so important, okay? Because we need to build alliances with you guys. The kids need to know that you're on our side, okay? We're in this together. We have the same purpose, right? And that is to help our learners to get to where they need to be, bring them up to level, because that's all on Mr. Sally too, so as a team, it's on all of us, all right? Not just him. But we do restorative practice, we do SEL, social emotional learning. We were just downstairs with our 5th and 4th graders and last month's book was about friendships, and we wanted to reinforce that because sometimes kids don't know what a friend is. Everybody they see or that speaks to them is their friend. And we all know that that's not necessarily true. But in any event, we talked about friendship, the importance of friendships, how you build those friendships, long-lasting, healthy friendships, right? Caring friendships. We talked about that with them. And we're trying to help your children be the best that they can be, the best version of themselves. But if you have any questions, please feel free to call and come see me.
Hi, you guys. I'm Shayla Snipes. I am your school social worker. So I have been working with Atlanta Public Schools for about 6 years or so. And I can say one thing about me is I love children, right? Some people say, oh, social work, that's such a scary job. But I really do feel like when you're serving in your purpose, you're doing what you love, it doesn't feel like work, right? And so every day I come here with a smile on my face. You'll see me when you bring your kids to school, if you bring your kids to school, greeting them, trying to set that tone. Good morning, you look beautiful today. Like, just trying to get them off on a positive note. That's what we're here for. So a few things about social work. I always tell the kids, I'm not defect. I'm that friendly social worker that's trying to help you to be your best that you could be in school, right? And so parents, if you need uniforms, if you need transportation, if there's some homelessness and concerns, that's what I'm here for, right? I always tell people, don't be prideful, right? Call, let us know what's going on. You never know what we can help you with, okay? So just trust your school as a resource. And like I said, I'm here for you guys and for your kids.
Good morning, how is everybody and everybody out there watching? My name is Mrs. C. Smith. I am in the position of site coordinator for communities and schools. My job here is to help support the care team and to provide services for the students, our students and our families. My job is to try to remove any barriers that the students have with getting to school, staying in school, and finishing that finish line at the 12th grade. So we provide housing support. If there's rent, we need rental support. Again, uniforms, food. We're trying to create here at Kimberly a food pantry and a clothes closet where parents would be able to come in and access those things that they need. I am a former educator. I was a teacher for 10 years. I taught 5th grade. This is my first year with communities and schools. And so I just want to be here to support the students and our parents so that we can get the kids where they need to go.
Good morning again. I'm Turner Mills, Mrs. Turner Mills. I am the new parent liaison for Atlanta Public Schools. I'm new to Atlanta Public Schools, but not new to working with children and their families. As a parent liaison, I'm looking forward to building a rapport with the parents, having you to come in, talk with me about the things that you may need. I'll offer referral services. And similar to what my other colleagues mentioned, we are all working as the care team. So a lot of the things that they mentioned, I will be helping you with that as well. Resources if you're needing food, clothing, or just that connection with your child's teacher or the school in general. I am the liaison, so I'm the bridge between the staff and the parent. So whatever it is that you need, that you're having problems with, please feel free to come to my office at any time. Give me a call, text, email, whatever it is that you need to get in contact with me. I'll be there to help you guys. Thank you again, and to you on the screen as well, please contact me.
There are a few members, I would just like to acknowledge them, that aren't here with us right now because they have other responsibilities, either at another school or in a classroom or working with a student or even a parent for that matter. But we have Ms. Goodman-Lee, who is our SELT, our special ed lead teacher. We also have Ms. Jo Barton, who's our speech therapist. And we have, of course, Mr. Sally, which you will see in a minute. We have Ms. Megan Rouse, who's our new school psychologist. We have Ms. Grant Roundtree, who's our MTSS coordinator here at the school. We also have our nurse, Mrs. Dudley, who's probably seeing a kid in her office right now. She's our school nurse. And Mr. Wiley, our Success Center supervisor, so to speak. And then, of course, Ms. April Williams, wonderful Williams.
Waiting.
Hi.
Yes, April Wonderful Williams.
So, if you need to contact us, you can call the main number here at Kimberly, 404-802-7628. Again, that 628, and they can transfer you to any of these members, or any of these members that are on this slide here, and we'll be happy to assist you. And so, really quick, okay, so we're the source of strength for your children and for you, right? Even for the teachers in this building. So, as we think about sources of strength, guess who else is present on this wheel? You are. Family support. So, parents, I want to ask you, how can you be a source of strength for your child this year? What is it that you can do to support your child to make sure they have a successful year this year at Kimberly? Take the games away. Okay, okay. What else can we do? Because this is the thing. I want you to keep in mind, for example, have you met your child's teacher yet? Right?
Yes.
Have you had that one-on-one with them? Have you established a communication protocol with the teacher, right? Regarding their academics and behavior concerns, right? Would you prefer to be contacted via phone, call, text, email, dojo, face-to-face meeting? Have you discussed that with your teachers yet? Okay? We need to establish those communication protocols. Are there things that you would like your child's teacher to know about your child that might be helpful or beneficial when engaging with your child? Their personality, if they have siblings who support them here at this school, if they have problems focusing, if they have a lot of energy and sometimes have to be directed often. These are important things that your teachers, your child's teacher, needs you to communicate with them so that we can adequately provide the support that they need to be successful. Okay? Do you guys have any questions for the care team?
I want to say one thing is that because if you know your child's personality, it's okay to let the staff know. Because usually when we're engaged, we're going to use all our psychology background to make not a diagnosis, but to make an understanding of what the teacher is dealing with. And usually then that means I'm either pulling them out for sessions, because I also do individual and group, along with, I actually teach counseling lessons to all of the kids in both schools. I'll be doing that this year on character ed, on bullying prevention, on diversity, on study skills, the power of yet, meaning that you haven't got it yet, but you're gonna get that problem. And we have to teach our kids all of those things. So if you start the report, it makes it a little easier for us, because that way, when we come in, the teacher already knows, well, look, he has a problem or she has a problem with this, Ms. Williams or Ms. Reed, or Ms. Snipes, or Ms. Smith, or Ms. Turner Mills can even, because see, sometimes you all talk to them in the front office before Ms. Williams and I are upstairs. So you'll get to these ladies before you get to us. So please make sure, that's an important one. Make sure you're open and honest. You know, we're not saying that we want to delve into your family's personal history. We're not asking that. All we're asking is that you let us know what it is that your child has an issue with, or you think might be an issue, so that we can address it here and it won't be a problem. Because if we address it here and you address it at home, as a team, we're together, that problem will slowly disappear. All right, thank you.
All right, any questions for us before we turn the program back over? Thank you so much for your
Thank
time.
you, parents.
Thank you.
Oh, no, I'm starting to shout today, guys. It's Turner Mills again. I want to make sure that all our parents know about our parent portal. This is a way that you're gonna be able to communicate, with your teacher through technology. And the parent portal is gonna offer information such as your daily schedule. It'll have assignments on there. You can view attendance. That helps us, because in the mornings when parents are coming in, if you're coming in late, that information is recorded. So if you unfortunately get a letter from us about attendance, you'll be able to go on the parent portal to see, hey, maybe we were late 3 times this week and we missed a day. So when you get that letter, you won't be such a surprise to you. It'll also help you access your children's grades, just in case they forget that report card or forget to bring that note home about a grade. that wasn't so good, it'll help you to access those grades, and you can do that on a daily basis. You're also able to check your students' schedule, and there'll be announcements on there as well. And everything happens in real time, so you'll be able to see exactly what's going on in the course of the day. Anyone have any questions about the parent portal? Have you all registered in the parent portal? If you haven't, you can come to my office and we'll make sure that we get that done, because it's a very important tool to have. And that way, if you do miss talking with your child's teacher, you can always log on and see what's going on in the classroom. Thank you.
All right. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
So I want to say, my name is Joseph Sally, and I am your proud principal here at Kimberly Elementary School. Been proud to have served here for the last 10 years. And every year, it gets better and better. And so my job is actually just to talk to you about a couple things, but like others, I want to just kind of tell you a little bit about myself for those of you who may not know me. Those in the room do know me. Some of you online may not. Again, my name is Joseph Sally. I'm the principal here. I've been here 10 years at Kimberly Elementary School. Prior to coming to Kimberly Elementary School, I served as a principal in Carroll County for about 6.5 years at the elementary and middle school level. Prior to that, I was an assistant principal in Cobb County for about 4 years. And then prior to that, I actually taught in Atlanta City Schools in the middle school. And prior to that, I actually was in Dayton, Ohio, where I went to undergrad, and I taught 2 years in the Dayton City Schools. So I come to you with a wide range of experiences, but all of that has kind of shaped me into this guy that I am here today. So I want to talk to you a little bit about Class Dojo. So we have a number of ways in which we communicate with our families. Of course, obviously, Ms. Turner-Mills becomes that liaison between the parents and the school. And one thing she neglected to talk about that is a big part of what she does is communication. She's the person who does our school newsletter. She's the person who sends out the majority of our remind messages. Soon she'll be doing voice call outs to you all as well. So not only is she helping you in getting access to resources and support and communication with the teacher, she's also sharing school-wide communication. But another way in which we communicate is through Class Dojo. And so all of our parents should be connected to their child's teacher through Class Dojo. You have a code that teacher should have sent home to you on a written document. But if not, you can actually, from our school website, you can actually click on our distance learning page, go down to the grade level for your child, and there is your child's teacher's picture. Underneath it is a link to access Google Classroom, Class Dojo, and to send them an email. And so you can actually connect to their Class Dojo right there online without that paper that would have come home from the teacher. But what we do with Class Dojo is that teacher it kind of serves as that teacher's classroom newsletter. Instead of them having to create a printed newsletter, they actually will sometimes take pictures of what's happening in the classroom there and highlight those things in Class Dojo. Often, they'll have messages in there about different happenings in the classroom or in the grade level. And more importantly, it's a way for you and that teacher to be able to communicate with each other instantaneously. It's almost like a text messaging app for you and the teacher. One underused element of Class Dojo is you actually can call your teacher from Class Dojo without even knowing their number. And they can call you from Class Dojo. No, I'm sorry. Let me take it back. That's Remind that works in. I'm sorry. You can actually call your teacher from Remind, and they can call you from Remind, not Class Dojo. I'm sorry. I messed up on that. But that's still good to know. So with Remind, which is that tool that our parent liaison generally uses to send messages out, you actually can communicate with your teacher through Remind as well. But Dojo is that way in which we do that. But Dojo is also used not just for the communication between the teacher and the teacher. I mean, the teacher and the parent. It's also a way for the teacher to be able to track positive and not so positive behaviors from students. So we have a point system that is generated within Class Dojo for positive behaviors. And so those points are then tallied up, and students can use those points to actually be able to participate in dojo parties and or get access to our game room. Right now, these first 6 weeks, every grade level is getting an opportunity to get an introduction to our new game room that we put together last year. But soon, that game room will only be accessible based on the number of points you have in dojo, okay? And so it's important for your kids to understand that dojo means something, okay? It's not just communication, but it's also how we track positive behaviors. I'm also gonna talk to you about our targeted intervention. So, over the last, last year, our district established some strategies around how we're going to catch kids up as a result of the pandemic. One of those strategies was extending the school day and inserting into those additional 30 minutes for elementary school an intervention block. Now, the intervention block exists at elementary, middle, and high school, but at elementary school, we had a unique situation with our time in that we had to actually build in the extra 30 minutes. So that's why school now starts at 7:45 and is over at 2:45 instead of the 8 o'clock to 2:30 that it was 2 years ago, okay? And so that 30-minute intervention block is built into each and every child's schedule for either intervention if they need some additional support, or enrichment if that child is already where they need to be, okay? And so we have a couple of different tools that are used for intervention at Kimberly Elementary School and in the Atlanta Public Schools. We have Read 180, Do the Math, System 44, iRead, and Foundations. Each of those tools support either literacy or math. Most of these that you'll see on here are literacy supports. Foundations, of course, is our phonics program that every child in kindergarten through 3rd grade already gets 30 minutes of phonics instruction every day, which is why we always talk about why is it so important for our kid to be here on time. Typically, in most classrooms, phonics is the first thing that's taught. And so when a child is not here at 7:45 in their classroom, they are likely gonna miss phonics every day. Without that foundation for reading, the struggle is real. And then that struggle doesn't go away if they don't get that phonics instruction. But we also have built in the opportunity for teachers to give some additional phonics instruction within that 30-minute intervention block that happens each day in the classroom. iRead is another program. It's an online program that students will be able to get some intervention for reading support, System 44 and Read 180. And then Do the Math is what we use for mathematics. And so all of that happens in that 30-minute intervention block. Now, in that 30-minute intervention block, the wonderful thing about that is it's not just the teacher that is supporting the kids through the intervention block. There's also another adult that's in the room that's helping to support that. So that teacher's classroom is then divided in half, and there's some students that are working with each of the 2 adults in the room, and then there's some students that are working in online platforms in the classroom. Okay, so it gives us an opportunity to kind of share the load as it relates to how we support our boys and girls. That started this Monday. The 29th was the first official day for intervention blocks within Atlanta Public Schools for all grades except for kindergarten. Kindergarten won't start until January. Because the reality is when you think about a kindergarten kid, this is their first year in school. Are we gonna say that this poor baby that just got here already needed intervention? You know, now, they may not know as much as their peer, and so the teacher's job, of course, is to differentiate the instruction for them, to give them what they need. But the intervention won't actually take place until January. And that's when we'll then say, okay, now you've had this first semester to get caught up on things that maybe we feel like you should have had prior to coming. And so now we'll start intervening in January, okay, at least formally. Teachers, of course, are intervening every day, but the formal intervention will happen until January for kindergarten. Any questions about any of the 2 topics that I discussed today? All right. These are some upcoming events that are taking place over the next few weeks at Kimberly Elementary School. We are proud to be able to welcome our grandparents back into our building on September the 9th at 7:45 for our annual grandparents breakfast that will take place in the cafeteria. And so we want to invite all of our grandparents, far and near, to come on over and converge. I can't remember if we sent home anything about RSVPing, Ms. Mills, but we will. So today is Thursday, our send home day. So we'll make sure that we get something out so that way we can get an unofficial count of the number of grandparents that may be with us next Friday. That'll help us in our planning, so that way we don't run out of food. But of course, once the food is gone, you'll just participate in the activities. We also have a field trip coming up We also have a field trip coming up on September the 15th for our pre-K students. They are going to be going to the Center for Poetry Arts, and you see CEP next to that. The district actually funds a field trip for each grade level, and those are our CEP, I think it's called Community Education Experience. Cultural Education Experience, thank you very much. And so the district pays for those, and so there's no charge for this particular trip. But I am asking all of our teachers to plan at least 2 more field trips per grade level, and those will come at some cost, okay? So please, parents, be aware of that. As soon as those initiatives come home for any trips that require cost, we ask that you please try to submit that cost as soon as possible. When we require a cost, it's because the venue that we're going to requires a cost, and of course, the bus that we use requires a cost. And so if we don't raise enough money for those trips, then those trips do have to get canceled, okay? So we don't wanna have to cancel those trips for our youngsters. We have open house that's happening on September the 20th. And so that will be a curriculum night for some grade levels and a data talks for other grade levels. So what we're gonna do is, in our K2 students, those are gonna be more traditional type. I come into the classroom, the teacher will kind of lead the conversation about what's happening in that classroom. Our 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade students will actually have data folders in front of them, and they will actually talk through their current performance levels with their parents using the data that will be inside of that folder. So it's important that our 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade parents definitely come, because it'll be an opportunity for you to see what your child can talk to you about what they know, okay? In October, we'll have our next chat and chew on October the 6th, and I want to see standing room only on October the 6th. And then our fall break, October 10th to the 14th. One other thing I want to just remind our parents of, we do have an after-school program here at Kimberly Elementary School now. It's run by Opportunity Nights, and it started this Monday as well. And that has a $50 registration fee and 0 tuition, okay? $50 registration fee per child and 0 tuition. They do have a cap on the number of students, and they will create waiting lists because that program, because it is grant sponsored, which is why there's 0 tuition, they have to make sure they have enough staffing to support the academic supports that they provide our students. So that after-school program is not just an after-school, it's not a babysitting program. I hate to use that term because that term kind of comes off negative, but it's not just a, leave your kid here because you don't have no other place for them to go. It is a learning experience for our boys and girls. They will actually be engaged in curricular activities during that. I know that's not funny.
Yeah.
I had no other way of saying it other than that way.
And what is the pickup time, and is there transportation?
Thank you. So there is no transportation for the after-school program. Parents, of course, can leave their kids here at the end of the day for that after-school program once you've registered and been accepted. And then the pickup time right now is 5:30, but starting in October, it will go until 6 o'clock, okay? Yes, ma'am.
Is it too late to register, or?
It's not too late to register that I'm aware of, and so we have the registration forms downstairs in the front office, but we'll make sure that we actually remind that out again and send that out by text message to our parents today. Yes, ma'am.
Is that Monday through Friday, and what is the learning experience? Their homework, or is it going to be broken down in each grade?
So that's a good question. So yes, it's Monday through Friday, okay? And they actually have an online component that they're utilizing because they actually asked us to supply them with Chromebooks for the after-school program. So they're actually going to be working on an online program that should be that should adapt to what the kid needs. So basically, once they get on that program, it will tailor the activities for where that child is to then help them grow. Okay. I don't remember the name of the program they're using, and I wish I had known that, but I didn't necessarily know about the school program.
It's MobiMax.
It's MobiMax. Okay, good. Thank you. It's MobiMax. So they're using MobiMax.
And are they fed any meals, like snacks or?
Thank you for that as well. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Good. You know what, Ms. Cole, you should have been up here talking about that. So yes, they are. They are fed. There's a supper program. Right now, the kids are just getting snacks because the supper program doesn't start until October. So they're getting some light snacks right now. But starting in October, the kids will actually get a supper program that they'll go through the line to get. And that starts right they'll get stuff from 3:15 to 3:45, and then they'll move into their academic or social activities. The reason we chose Opportunity Knox is one, because, well, first and foremost, is because it was free tuition. Okay, that was the primary reason why we chose it. But they also partner with a bunch of different partners that will come in and actually have them doing some real enrichment type activities. For example, some photography things, some drama club activities. So there was actually some programming that was going to be a lot different from any after school program that we've had in-house in the past. So my hope is that our kids, when they get there, they will enjoy it, and you'll find as a parent that it's worthwhile for them to be there, and not just because it's free after the $50 registration, but because they're actually going to get an experience from it that's different than what they would have gotten in just sitting in the cafeteria to 6 o'clock when your mom get there. Okay.
If you got a young swim team, let me know. I got a little boy that loves to swim.
I know, right? I wish we could. We don't have a pool. The YMCA does, so even though they're not our preferred partner this year for after school, because they were in the past, and that was part of the reason why I chose the Y, because they had access to all those other activities. But now we brought them back. Of course, we don't have a pool. There's not a place for that. But I do know the Y does, if in fact that becomes a. All right. Anything else I missed, Ms. Williams? All righty. So that actually concludes the formal part of our presentation. The rest of this meeting, really, for the next like 5 or 10 minutes, one, we want you to do a survey. Okay. Can you want to talk a little bit about what the survey is, Ms. Williams?
No, you can talk.
Okay. I didn't create a survey, so I don't know what it is. But, here we go, Dr. Boatwright will talk about the survey, and then once she talks about the survey, then I will be here to answer any questions that you might have, okay?
So, the purpose of our survey is actually to get your feedback as parents. We want to provide what you need. So we can sit here and think, oh, well, they need this, but even though Mr. Sal is a parent and some of our other staff, they're parents, we don't know what you need specifically. So this survey, not only will you give us feedback about today, what was beneficial, but you also have an opportunity to say, hey, I would like to learn more about other things. So there's one section where it has some check boxes. You can check as many of those boxes as you would like, because those are other things that we can definitely make sure we integrate into these sessions that we have monthly. And that way, we are not just providing you with the information we want you to have, but we're providing you with information you want to have. Because the way this works is if you're coming, you want something, you want to be beneficial to your time. And so we want to get your feedback so that we make sure that we're giving you exactly what you need.
All right. So if you brought your cell phone today, all you have to do is scan that QR code there. Those parents in the online, hopefully, if you're watching this on your phone, you can't scan it. You take a picture, and then you get your spouse's phone, and you scan it with their phone. Okay.
And if you don't have the QR code app, they can use their camera.
Right, if you don't have the QR code app, your camera should do that, but if not, then you gotta do the QR code app. And so while that's happening, I will sit, and if you have any, just general questions you'd like to have from me, because of course, this is also Principal's Chat and Shoot besides Parent Academy, so it's an opportunity for you to ask me questions if you have. Give me all your complaints if you got them. Tell me what's going well, if you've seen something that you've been happy about. I can say I've been happy about our cafeteria and the food choices that our boys and girls are getting this year. This year, they're actually getting hot meals for breakfast and for lunch. Well, no, for lunch, I'm sorry, because breakfast, we're still doing breakfast grow in a bag, so they're getting the cold meal there. But for lunch, they're getting hot meals, and they're getting choices, and there's always a non-meat choice for all of our boys and girls. There are salad choices as well. And so, and I talk to the kids, they are enjoying the food this year. They've actually been happier with the food that we have this year. One thing I have been asked though is if there are parents who are looking for employment, our cafeterias are hiring, as well as transportation is also hiring. So if you are interested in either driving a school bus or working in the cafeteria, those positions should be posted online, but if you let me know by putting something next to your name on the sign-in sheet, I will definitely try to connect you with the hiring managers for both of those two departments. And especially if you want to work here at Kimberly, like in our cafeteria, because I think we have at least one slot open for, a cafeteria, support person. I think all of our bus routes are filled. I don't think we have any double loads or anything like that in our bus routes. But I know, that the district is short about 40 bus drivers. So. Yeah. All right. Any questions for me? All right. Well, thank you all very, very much. We're gonna stop streaming live and I appreciate you all being here. Hopefully I will see you all and others next month.